Hello and welcome to the skating lesson. I'm Jennifer Kirk.
And I'm Dave Leese.
And pause. Are you Team Ashley? Stand up a little bit, Dave Leese. Let me see this shirt. So what is this? Tell me everything. Start from the beginning.
So Puritan's Pride, they sponsor us, as everyone knows, and then they sponsor Diva Wagner.
Good choice.
We did it first. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying. But anyway, as you know, through our fantasy, we've been supporting Puritan's Pride. They've been supporting us. They made our sponsorship possible. They made our fantasy skating possible. And now they are sponsoring Ashley. And if you spend $19.95, is it $19.95 or $19.99? It's the commercial number right below $20. They want you to spend $20 on the website. And
you put in promo code AshleyW. And to find out how to get the shirt, if you go to the link bit.ly/Ashley, Team Ashley, because we're Team Ashley here, you'll find out all the information on how to get one of these shirts for free. But you can wear them at Nationals. You can wear them if you're sitting at home watching Nationals. We're going to wear ours at Nationals. So if you're Team Diva Wagner, you can do that. You can buy some of our TSL products too and get a 10% discount with code SKATING.
Are we wearing them in the arena?
I mean, I think we could wear like a cute, you know what we could do? We could wear like a cute little blazer, like a little leather jacket over it. And then, someone needs to come up with a Team Gracie. Maybe one wears one of us wears one wears the other because we're PC. Actually, even though we're really not.
I don't know. I don't want to like run into Denise Gold like in my team.
Oh,
Ashley.
Yeah.
She gives me the cold sweats. You know, I'm just saying.
Maybe we can wear it to bed. Dave Leese and I are going to be sharing a room again. Intercontinental. Come
like
meet us.
Nationals cuddle photos. You know.
I know. Oh, and one more thing before we move on and we talk about whatever we're talking. This is like a hodgepodge of this and that because we were out of town, or I was out of town last weekend. But we are going to be doing fantasy for Nationals. I don't know if it's this coming week or the following week, but with that, you get a chance to win, I think, one of these t-shirts too. If you buy one of these, or you get one of these shirts, you win something if you have the shirt at Nationals and you take a photo with us. I'm messing it all up. I'm going to explain it better next week, but let's discuss some stuff that has to do with skating. Let's talk about Japanese Nationals, which feels like it took place last year, which it did. That was good. Okay, what did you think about the men? So Yuzuru here winning, but I just feel like all these skaters were so tired after the final.
There was nowhere to go after he did two perfect programs, having to compete again so quickly after the final. If he did well, I would have. You can't be that up for that long, especially not to. Yeah. It was fine. He did what he needed to do. He deserved to win. It's not a program that he will remember or that anyone will probably go back and watch very often. But it's good that it happened now so that he can rebuild for the later on in the season.
I was going to say, if there were ever a time to do it, it was this event.
That's so funny to think like, oh, you're Nationals. That's the time to fall twice. But it kind of was here. This was not his best performance, but he's great. And I think he'll be back for Worlds, back for 4 continents, and leading the way. How about you?
Yeah, what I liked about it is he missed that first quad and he came back and did the second quad toe. So I think he's showing us that he does have that grit, that focus. He was fighting through it. Also felt like Shoma Uno, he was fighting a little bit. He added in the second quad. There were some up and down moments. I just think for some of these skaters, like him, I understand you want to go out and you want to compete at your national championships, but when they do so well at the final, it's going to be a letdown. I worry about them in terms of injury when they're.
I know, they need to go get massages.
Yeah, they need to just go and like relax a little bit. Because it looks like sometimes as an athlete, when your body's so tired, you're fighting it, you're going to make little errors, little mistakes, and that's when something can tweak, a hip or whatnot. I wish their nationals either were moved or they didn't make these guys skate here.
I mean, you know that Uno deserves to go to Worlds. Yeah. You know that Hanyu deserves to go to Worlds. So I think that
name them to the team and don't have them skate if you're going to keep.
But they make so much money skating on TV.
I know, and it's really, and I know for tickets, and the fans want to see them. But why not move the nationals? Just let me know. Yeah. Is it because they want to keep it before 2016?
I don't know. I don't know why Japan does it. I mean, with Russia, obviously they have Europeans, and a lot of the European countries do it early. But Japan's always done it then. But it's not.
Maybe move it. In my opinion, yeah. Bradford. Well, Mira doing well because it was Skate America. He was not so great. Still didn't understand the outfit in his long program. Still didn't understand the music in his long program. Nice triple axel comeback after he popped one. There's great moments to his skating. He seems to be someone though who's steadily rising as he should this season. This was a victory for him.
Yeah, coming back, getting it, doing really well here. But I think, unfortunately, For Murakami, it's really shocking, for him to finish off of the podium
Well,
like
that's
he
the
did.
question. Like, this was the same. I mean, last season, he did so well winning NHK right before.
Mm-hmm.
So there were some expectations. Could he come in? And then when he didn't quite live up to that, it was like, okay, this is his first time. It's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
But this season, it was really his moment. How big of a disappointment is this?
I think you have to think it's a disappointment because this is not up to the standard that he did on his Grand Prix events. And yes, you have to think tired, but
this was his moment. You got to bring it.
This was his moment. This was not. I mean, the final. You have to know he was not going in to realistically have a shot to win. That's kind of the time to just do your best, but not freak out. Nationals, he needed to do well. He really wasn't in it to win at the final. I feel sorry for him. I think he has a lot of soul searching to do going forward. What is it going to take to get him to break through at nationals? Because this is 2 years in a row where he really, the Olympic year, he wasn't even really in the conversation. So he's going to have to figure out internally what is it that's driving him, that's motivating him, that's going to make him skate well.
Next year is it. He needs from start to finish, really, because he has the goods. Now it's just putting it all through. And maybe a program that brings out, I've talked about this season after, his personality more. He doesn't
have a lot of personality when he skates.
No, and he does in real life, and he needs to be memorable, because when you're up against a Uno who just has oodles of pulling you in, and of course Hanyu, to stand apart, if you're not doing quads that they're not attempting, because he's still only doing the Sao, you got to do something else, some X factor.
And there are lots of talented kids coming up.
There really are. And there are in the ladies event as well. We saw Miyahara handling. She's one skater. I'm like, all right, you could do your long program day or night, anytime, and she's going to be okay.
She's going to be in the top 5 at Worlds, regardless.
I was going to say, after this and the final, has she solidified herself as a leading Japanese woman?
Where's my spray? But yes. I think...
I'll do it for you, honey.
I know you're not supposed to say that about Mao. I think you're not supposed to say it.
It smells so good.
I don't think we can say that. I think we need to say, what's the skater response? Because we're going to get tweets. I think we can say that Miyahara is the most consistent skater in Japan.
At this moment.
Mao may be the most talented with the most heart. Is that a good...
But that's a kind of a diss saying that Miyahara doesn't have heart.
She does have heart. That's true.
I would just say at this moment, she has proven herself to be the most talented, because it's as a lawyer, you could find the crowd.
Yeah.
There's no crowd. At this moment, she has shown, in our opinion, that she is the most consistent.
And mentally ready.
Mentally ready is tough to prove. Most consistent Japanese woman in the world. Period.
Yes.
Single skater in the world. Okay, good. Let's move on. Higuchi, though, she was strong here, too. Oh, a couple of things, though. Oh, I like how focused she is. She needs to turn her foot out on the layback, whereas Peggy Fleming, Dick Button doing a split screen on that. Also, the gloves in her long program, not so necessary. And a little bit more transition. Sometimes as a skater, watch this, people, when you watch skaters, they'll do a really nice arm movements. Ashley Wagner, Team Ashley. But watch the feet. There's often not a lot going on in the feet, and I think she could really inject a few more rockers, turns, turn one way, turn the other way. Just as she's doing the great arm movements, do some feet movements too.
Some foot movements, yeah. Do that rocker step that I was just working on this morning. But so, you know who she reminds me of?
Who does she remind you of?
Well,
Yoshionda? Really? Oh, we're there today, honey.
She really has some Yoshi in her.
I don't think she's that bad. Really?
What?
I don't think she's that bad. Yoshi really, she didn't land those jumps so nicely.
Jenny, I was just going to let that hang there. You were the one that, qualified that. So I think that she's very physically talented on the first mark.
Okay. The second mark is room for improvement. Add some more foot
for improvement. Room for improvement. Yes.
Dave Lace's opinion.
In my opinion, I think that she's very talented, but she'll need to be doing 3 quad sound counts.
She's very talented, though.
She
did 2 triple toes. Respect.
Very equal without the triple axel. Yes, respect.
Really okay, let's talk about Hongo. This was she needed to have a moment here.
She's very lucky that Higuchi is too young.
We're pausing. She needs to turn her toe out at her starting position. There is nothing more horrifying than when you see a skater standing and going to start their program and their toe is turned in. You're standing there for at least 15 seconds. I can't look at a sickled toe. The plie stuff, Jordan Samuel will tell you, turn your toe out. Always, people. All right, keep going. I really had to get that in. I had it in big font.
Have you been watching Flesh and Bone yet, thinking of ballet?
No, what is this? I don't watch television.
Like a good messed up show about
Okay.
yeah, messed up
What is it?
ballerinas.
Where is what channel? What time?
Stars. I'll give you my login. Don't
Okay. I
worry.
was gonna
You
say I
can.
don't have a TV, so
I think that all of the Japanese ladies, except for Miyahara and maybe Mao, they could watch this and
okay.
maybe get some ideas about
Okay.
how to,
So
present.
what did you think about Hongo? Did this need to be her moment?
I mean, I think she's fine because Higuchi is too young, but this does not put her in good stead for later on in the season. I thought that she was making momentum, and all the progress that she made kind of early on, she kind of lost. This was not.
Yeah, I see promise. She just needs to put more face. Nice double axle, triple toe, double toe. But also on her triplet, she picks too much to the inside. These are little errors that what we talked about earlier when you don't really have a strong second mark and you're up against women who are doing two triplets, triple toes in their program. All of your jumps have to be really solid.
So she really needs to work on her extension, her stretch everywhere. I mean, skating bigger with her arms, really becoming an interesting skater, maybe working on the footwork and the skating and the edges to really stand out because these women have talent. And yes, the river dance program worked this year, but there are only so many gimmicky things that you can do as a skater before things catch up to you. And I think that she really needs to work on becoming a truly memorable skater. Kind of like how Carolina Costner got better over the years. She needs to really study that
Find her style
because she's
outside of
very lanky and thin, and this is the problem: is that when you're lanky but you don't have that stretch, it just looks like you're hunched and weird, and it's not communicative to the audience. So she has to kind of really work on that.
Yeah, or else everything like we talk about, it just gets, in Paulina too, it gets a little stunted. And when you're so long, you have to own those limbs and really say that is what will set you apart from these other women. Capitalize on your length. I mean, it's a fantastic thing. Well, not a fantastic thing for Jason Brown. So we found out a couple days ago that he has withdrawn from nationals.
Did we skip over Mao?
Did I really?
This is a messy show.
Oh no! Okay, so what's going on here? Because bronze medalist here, very upsetting.
So she's been sick for a while, through most of the fall. But I don't know. I think again, why does she have to go to? They're going to send her to Worlds if she's not ready after the final. It was clear that she was not feeling well. This is disappointing to have her do it again, and you know that it's probably not going to wind up being that successful. But I don't know. I think she has enough time for later on in the season. How strong, I guess, do you think that she can pull up? Can she challenge Redinova? Can she challenge Medvedeva? Is she just fighting for medal at this point?
Well, one of the things that in our interview with Michelle talked about was like feeling the momentum. Starting to slide a little bit and how you had to like check yourself and get it back together. I think it's good that she has about 5 weeks at this point before 4 continents to get that momentum up. I would say should have taken this whole last week off and start to build the building blocks. I think if she comes out, we want her to do well. The judges want her to do well. If she comes out really strong at 4 continents and blows the field away, she'll be okay. They'll give it to her at Worlds, putting her up there. We want her. We still feel when we saw her at the Japan Open, there's still that pull to see her do well. Just the momentum isn't in her favor right now.
Yeah, the momentum or the trust, I think, with Mao. Yeah. But I agree that she has to. Michelle said you're cruising, but you're cruising at a lower speed. She has to find that higher speed, whatever it's going to do.
To get her up the hill. Yeah. Well, let's talk about Jason Brown really quickly. So he has withdrawn from nationals, re-aggravating his back injury, which he hurt back in November. Didn't really commit to whether he was going to petition to the world team. Should he be on the world team?
I think it's interesting. I think that if he's not skating right now and he referenced that he's spending time off, you have to think nationals are in a couple weeks. You don't have that long between nationals and worlds. Could he even be ready if he's not skating now? I kind of don't think that at this stage of the game he'd be able to justify sending him over a man who's healthy and prepared. It's not anything against Jason, but I think you have to look at long term. Is it better for Jason to try to get back and push his body perhaps too soon? Or is it better to heal completely and come back refreshed in a couple of months? I think that might be the best hope for Jason because I think he has long-term goals.
Yeah, and potential long-term. And I think after doing so well at Worlds last year, in my opinion, I don't think he's going to be able to repeat that result just with the field as it is this season and maybe with the quad still in the developmental stages and some of the issues that we saw with him, just even on the other jumps this year. It seemed like this was really a transition building year for him. And I agree, it's not worth it for him to push himself to maybe go back to Worlds and get 7th, which would be fantastic, but to hurt his body potentially even more. Stay home. Go back into it. Do it next season. Next season is really what matters. The issue, though, is that Worlds are in Boston. I mean, as a skater, you want to be there.
You want to be there. At the same time, it's very unlikely the U.S. men are going to keep 3 spots for next year, just based on the field.
But I think perhaps if he were in the field and Max, I would have more faith. A healthy Jason, a healthy Max could get us 3 spots.
Could.
Yes.
It's just real. I mean, what's Patrick going to do? What's Uno, Javier?
I mean, the field is so rich.
You don't know how many quads Nama's going to land and what the judges are going to do with those marks. So I think, they certainly have the opportunity, but if it's risky, I would just think long term, Jason has another Olympics in him potentially, for sure. So.
What do you guys think? You gotta, and I think the hardest thing too is you have to put aside your own personal feelings. Like, we all want to see him there. He's a lovely kid. We love him. But you have to think what is best for him, like you said, long term, and what's best.
Especially because if he pushes himself to go to Worlds, re-injures himself again, this is a thing where this could become a bigger and bigger problem down the line.
And it's not worth it. Well, leave us a comment below. Let us know. Go to Puritan.com. Do that 1995 order. Promo code AshleyW. You can also use your TSL code SKATING to get 10% off your entire purchase. bit.ly/Team Ashley to find out more information about the shirt that Dave Lease is wearing. Support our Diva Wagner.
Yeah, and as always, I want to remind you that when you're standing in your opening pose, turn out your foot for Jenny Kirk.
Please.
Hold an edge and look sexy.
Bye, guys.